Start, bench, loan, or sell. Today we're going to be doing FC Barcelona, a very interesting squad as there's a good mix of youngsters and veteranos. Let's see how we do. Welcome to the recap. Hector Forge. I like Hector Forge. I think he has a lot to offer, especially going forward. He's also defense pretty good. I remember when Balde was getting injured quite a bit, Hector Forge was coming in, getting more game time, and he looked promising. Unfortunately for Hector Forge, you have Balde and Gerard Martin on the left hand, and on the right hand you have Koundé, Eric Garcia. You can stay on the bench, or maybe let's loan him out. Let's loan him out to a team also that can do some Champions League, get some minutes, have him grow as a player, and then bring him back, and maybe he can compete for a starting lineup. Koundé, it's a love-hate relationship with Koundé. Sometimes he plays like he's the best right back in the world, and sometimes you're like, how do you play in Barcelona, bro? After his injury, you can tell that Koundé was needed in the team, and then we have that screamer versus Real Madrid. I still remember that goal, amazing. But Koundé, hopefully he gets back healthy soon. But yeah, he's a starter. There's no way that you take him out of that starting lineup. Do I really got to talk about Lamine Yamal, the future Balón de Oro? This kid at 17, he should be turning 18 in a couple of months. What an amazing talent. He's just extraordinary. He gives life to all the Barca fans. Yes, if he had a better right back, he'd be probably doing more, but it's Lamine Yamal. Baila la Rocky. You really can't say more about that. Lewandowski. Lewandowski. It's his last year with his contract. The man has got his second win under Fleek. It's crazy that there is a stat that Lewandowski had ran more than all the Madrid players at the age of what is he, like 36, something like that, 35, 36, and it's impressive what he's done, and it's unfortunate that he got injured, or else he would have been the Pichichi and most likely the Golden Boot of this last season. You start Lewandowski, it seems like it's going to be his last year. We're going to see if we bring another forward. To me, there's a guy that's already in the squad that can be the starting forward. It's not a Lewandowski type, but I like him a lot. So Lewandowski, we start. Fermin Lopez. Dude, I love this player. Fermin Lopez is so underrated, but I still think he needs to bring what a superstar brings, and that's consistency. If he can bring that consistency, I think he takes Olmo's spot. He's so versatile. He can play in the left, he can play in the middle, he can play as a 10. Fermin Lopez is the guy that you count out, but at the end of the day, he's just doing things that you would never expect. In Spanish, to say, el muchacho del barrio. He has all the qualities that it takes to become a superstar, a world-class player, but he also works very hard. I love Fermin. For right now, we're gonna bench him, but if he brings in that consistency, no doubt he's gonna be a starter. Marc Bernal. I have a video on TikTok, and this thing went over like 20,000 views. I talk about how Marc Bernal is the future of that midfield. Once Frankie de Jong decides to leave or they sell him off 3-4 years, Marc Bernal is going to be the future. I don't want to overhype him, but those 3 games that he played, it was enough to see that the guy has a lot of quality. The way he plays, the way he sees the game. For that young age, he's also only 18. He just turned 18. He's going to be a crucial and vital player for Barcelona. Right now, we're going to put him on the bench because he's coming back from injury. But it's going to be very interesting to see when he's fully fit. It's probably going to take him a year and a half. It's going to be like exactly like Gavi, where he's not fully fit, but little by little he's getting that game time. But it's going to be interesting to see when he's fully match fit and ready, if they're going to do like a Bernal de Jong Pedri combination. That'd be very interesting. But for right now, we're going to put him on the bench. He is the reason why I think Casado should go on loan. Now, Indigo Martinez, what can we say about this guy? We got him for free. I see like under Xavi, it wasn't going to do good. Under Fleek, he's probably one of the best, if not the best defender of La Liga. And he is the leader in the back line. He's the one that tells the players when to move up the high line, when to press. He is becoming a bit older, maybe 1 or 2 more seasons, and then we really got to look into that next defender. But you start him. Dani Olmo, I'd be interested to see if they can do that same test that they did with Pedri, to see what Dani Olmo needs to do, eat, what kind of exercises he needs to do so he can stay out of injuries. He's been having quite a bit of injuries, and that has stopped his progress from what it should be, because Dani Olmo is one hell of a player. So if Dani Olmo can stay injury free and continue that path of becoming a better player under Flick, I'm telling you guys, this Barca midfield is stacked. I honestly think Barcelona have the best midfield with the most quality out of any team in Europe. So Olmo, right now we start him ahead of Fermin, but once Fermin gets that consistency, it's going to be a really good battle. Paulo Torres, unfortunately for Paulo Torres, the fact that Barcelona has a very stacked midfield, a very, very stacked midfield with a lot of quality. Paulo Torres has not seen those minutes he needs, but he's a really good player for the future if he can step it up. And we all know he has that quality. The minutes he's got, he shows those flashes. But unfortunately for him, just look at the midfield and look at the players in the midfield that are waiting to get an opportunity. So we're going to loan him out. And like I said, for the other guys, if they can go to a team that has some Champions League football, Europa League football, would be great. And see if he comes back, a better player. But ultimately for Paulo Torres, I think 1 or 2 loans and then he might be sold. Pau Victor. At the beginning of the season and preseason in the US, there's a lot of campaigns going on where they're like, hey, maybe Pau Victor should be the starter. Lewandowski's too old. Pau Victor is a great player. Unfortunately, you have Lewandowski and Ferran Torres in front of him, and they do one hell of a job, and that's why Pau Victor hasn't been able to get his opportunity. But also, Pau Victor is a very physical player. Every time he goes on the pitch, he gives it 110%. He's been very unlucky, especially because of the 2 players he has in front. So a loan for me for Pau Victor would be perfect to get some game time, maybe a Girona, get some game time, score some goals, and potentially become one of Barcelona's forwards in the near future when Robert Lewandowski leaves. Pedri Gonzalez. Pedri was the best player in Barcelona because the game is controlled by Pedri. Barcelona depended a lot of what Lamine did, but when Pedri was out of the field, there was no connection between defenders and the forwards. And Pedri this year, he's probably the best, if not one of the best midfielders in the whole world. And there's no way that you bench him, loan him, or sell him, you start Pedri. If he can continue the way that he's playing and growing, it's going to be very interesting to see him in a couple of years because Pedri, we think that he's like 27, 28. He's still fairly young. He's like 21, 22 years old. There's not much to say about Pedri. He's just an amazing player and he's so fun to watch. Iñaki Peña. What can we do with Iñaki Peña? It's gonna be, if Dex doesn't stay, you can keep Iñaki Peña. And if you don't sign Garcia, you can keep Iñaki Peña. But we all know Flick is not going to give him an opportunity. Flick doesn't want to play him. So if I'm Iñaki Peña, I still have some value. People still remember who I am. I try to get a team. Not on loan, most likely sell. Rafinha, the reborn Brazilian. Rafinha de Nascimento. Rafinha, what a season he had. He's a starter for a fact. But what a season he had. Nobody thought he was going to have this type of season. I was one of those that was on the campaign saying, hey, we got to sell Rafinha. This guy's a bust. But he proved all of us wrong, and we love that because the amazing season he had, like nobody saw that. Now it's going to be interesting to see if he can improve that season or even match that season. Because if he can match it, that's already a dub. But if he can improve that season, dude, that's going to be amazing. Dek Chechny. My guy was smoking a cigar playing golf in Marbella, or I don't know where. They called him, hey, Barcelona needs a keeper. You down? And he said, hold my cigar, hold my whiskey, and hold my iron. Here I go. Honestly, all I can say about Dek is I'm grateful for him coming to Barcelona for all that he's done, but he's a little slow now. He was retired. He was out of the game for a while. He's a little slow. His decision-making is kind of bad. We've conceded goals because of him, but overall, I'm just grateful, man. If he continues, that's great. If he doesn't, thank you so much. Ooh, we're going to bring in a little canterano, Tony Fernandez. Shout out to J. Jordi from El Chiringuito. He had said years ago about Lamine Yamal, and not too long ago, he said about 2 guys, Tony and Guille Fernandez, the cousins. Tony Fernandez seems like he's a very high prospect in the Barcelona Academy in La Masia. It'd be interesting to see him get some minutes. It's going to be very hard, but I want to bring him on the bench. I don't want to loan him out yet, even though that strategy did work for Fermin where he got loaned out. He came back and, dude, look at him. But let's give Tony, 5 minutes here and there in the first team and see what he can do. Ferran El Tiburon Torres. A lot of people don't share this opinion with me. When Lewandowski retires, Ferran Torres can be that starter. He's not your typical 9 that can hold the ball, that can header the ball in, and he's not a tall player, a physical player like Lewandowski at all. The difference he does bring is speed, the way he makes his runs, the way that Barca's attackers are not staggered. You can have Ferran go to the wing, Rafinha come in, Amin come in, Ferran go to the side. It's a very mobile forwards. Ferran has had a one heck of a season. I had said 2 seasons ago he was going to be the player to watch for, and it didn't happen. But under Fleek, the Fleek magic, he's just putting numbers. He's putting amazing performances. You don't need to bring another number 9. He can be that guy. We'll see what Barcelona's board says, and if they bring in somebody next year, you put him as a bench, but he is fighting Lewandowski for that spot because Ferran is that guy. The last one is Gavi. Gavi's coming back from injury. He's still not fully fit, and you can tell. But god dang, dude, this guy plays with some cojones. He is literally what Barcelona is all about. Play with everything you got until the end. And Gavi, he's not going nowhere. Unfortunately, he has players like Pedri, De Jong in front of him. Gavi and Marc Bernal are going to be fighting for those minutes. So that's just going to bring the level up of all those midfielders. You bench Gavi, and you still give him time because he is going to be come back. He's going to go back to full form. And when he does, I'm telling you guys, Barca's midfield is going to be very, very stacked. Well, hopefully you guys enjoy this type of video. If you guys do, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think of my list, my start, bench, loan, sell. And if you guys would do any changes, or put in the comments down below what do you think of my list. And I'll see you guys next video.